probably the most extroverted member of Ginghamsburg Church, and Pete has been on a journey recently of just dumping religion and I think a lot of the fluff that we attach to it, and I think you've just really been seeking after the real Jesus and what it looks like as his community of followers. And so I wanted to ask Pete today, man, how, as the extrovert and a person who loves Jesus, how do we create authentic community?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So I think you could probably boil it down to three things that I think are easy to talk about but hard to do for a lot of folks. And I think that first thing would just be being real with one another, right? Stripping those external barriers, of society, of money and fame and class, of a perfect marriage, things like that, where you just say, you know what, we're going to lay that out on the table right now and say, yep, I'm an imperfect person, right? That plays into kind of your second thing, which is honesty, just being able to, again, take the mold off and say, hey, I'm going to be honest with those around me and really just become vulnerable, which is that third piece, right? So everybody has a story. Whether you're a leader, whether you're a follower, no matter who you are, we all have stories. We all have broken pieces where when we begin to become vulnerable with one another and share those, amazing healing takes place. And so I think if you can kind of bake those three ingredients together, amazing things happen. And again, easier said than done. However, I can tell you right now from personally that, it's been life-changing for us.
That's good. I mean, I spent so much of my life just, I thought so much of Christianity was manipulating the external and how I acted outwardly versus dealing with the inward. And if you read Matthew 23, especially verses 25 through 28, Jesus' harshest language was for people like me, who, he talks about the Pharisees cleaning the outside of the cup, but not dealing with the inside. And so for me, man, it's just been really freeing as I begin to deal with the honesty and deal with who am I really? I mean, anytime we're starting to mask, I think anytime we're manipulating the external circumstances, that's where we got to dig into, because like God wants to put a new heart in me. God wants to put a new heart that wants to follow him and love him. And so practically, how can this look at the group level? How can we dig into create some community? What are some ideas for those of us who maybe aren't as extroverted or as natural hosts as others?
Yeah, so I think some simple things like having some food available, right? Hanging around the kitchen. Music is always something that I like to do. Everybody's got Bluetooth speakers now. Throw one on to where when that awkward silence happens, because it's bound to happen that first night, there's something in the background to kind of catch some of that awkward, silence. Things like just preparing. You can prepare even though you may not always stick to that specific timeline and format. But at the end of the day, you have to be, I think, open to the fact that the first night meeting people, no matter where you're at, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable both for the people coming in, and it's also sometimes uncomfortable for the people hosting. But if you can accept that first night of discomfort, the benefits of relationship far exceed that first night.
Well, hey, we don't all have to be as extroverted as Pete Herman to host a group, but just accepting the awkwardness, being honest, and just realizing that the level that we're willing to be honest and authentic with ourselves is directly proportional to how honest and authentic our groups will be. And God bless you as you start this. Thanks.